Hey gang, what's going on? So, week 6 is in the books, and it was a wild week 6, I will say. Um, Before I even get into that, first off, I want to start off by saying thank you to everyone who has subscribed and supported me in the channel. So, that's the first thing. Second thing is, if you like any kind of college football content, please hit that like, subscribe, bell icon buttons, and share buttons. It's greatly appreciated. Very helpful for the channel. Gives me great feedback on what you think of the content, as well as I don't want you to miss out on anything that I put out. And we are giving you the latest and most up-to-date news. So thank you all again, and let's get on to it. So week 6 was a wild one. We had a lot of upsets, a lot more than the other week, but let's get into that week 6 and what happened. So, in number 1, Georgia versus number 20, Kentucky, where Georgia was the favorite to win that game. Georgia got off to a very quick start, as expected, and they blew out Kentucky 51-13. So number 20, Kentucky, falls to 5-1 and 2-1 against the SEC, while Georgia improves to 6-0 and 3-0 against the SEC. So Georgia gets the win, and Kentucky loses for the first time all year. Moving on to the next game between number 2, Michigan, and unranked Minnesota. Michigan went into Minnesota and steamrolled the Golden Gophers big time, as the Wolverines picked up a 52-10 win over the Gophers, which improves Michigan's record to 6-0 on the season, while going to 3-0 on the Big Ten, or against the Big Ten, and Minnesota drops to 3-3 on the season and 1-2 versus the Big Ten. Moving on to the game that I was most excited to watch and to see and to hear everything about was the Texas-Oklahoma game, and that turned out to be the game of the week, in my opinion. We had number 12, Oklahoma, visiting the number 3, Texas Longhorns, and this was upset number 1 of 6. So the number 12 ranked team, Oklahoma Sooners, went into Texas and beat the Longhorns at the Longhorns 34-30. Even though they were outscored in the fourth quarter, they still came out with the win. So congratulations on the upset to Oklahoma, which puts Oklahoma at 6-0 on the year and 3-0 versus the Big 12, while Texas drops to 5-1 on the year and 2-1 against the Big 12. Moving on to the next game, where number 4, Ohio State, played the unranked Maryland Terrapins. And the Maryland Terrapins lose 37-17 at Ohio State. Maryland goes to 5-1 on the year and 2-1 on the year against the Big Ten, while Ohio State goes to 5-0 and 2-0 against the Big Ten. So the Buckeyes remain undefeated with a nice win at home. Moving on to the next game, the number 5 Florida State Seminoles versus the unranked Virginia Tech Hokies. Virginia Tech got off to a slow start. Then they closed the gap, and then they completely fell apart, as Florida State runs right through them at home at the Doak, 39-17. So the Hokies go to 2-4 on the year and 1-1 against the AC, while the Seminoles of Florida State go to 5-0 on the year. Their first 5-0 start since I think it was 2012, and 3-0 against the ACC. So congratulations to Florida State. I'm reaching the 5-0 mark for the first time in quite some time. Moving on to the next game. This one was a wild one. This took 3 different overtimes between the number 9 USC Trojans and the Arizona Wildcats. Now, this game I expected to be a blowout. It was not. It took 3 overtimes for USC to get the win. So Arizona falls 43 to 41. Excuse me. The score in that was 43 to 41 against USC. So Arizona goes to 3-3 on the year, while in the Pac-12 against the Pac-12 teams, they go to 1-2. USC goes to 6-0 on the year and 4-0 against the Pac-12. Moving on to the next game. This was upset number 2 of 6, where number 10 Notre Dame Fighting Irish went up against the number 25 Louisville Cardinals, where Louisville was at home and they got the win and the upset over number 10 Notre Dame. They win 33 to 20 at home, and Louisville improves to 6-0 on the year and 3-0 at home, while the Fighting Irish dropped to 5-2 on the year and 2-1 on the road. And then going on to the next game, we have the number 11 Alabama Crimson Tide versus the Texas A&M Aggies, the unranked Texas A&M Aggies. Now, Texas A&M has always played Alabama well. I expected Alabama to be better, but they did not fulfill that, even though Texas A&M does generally play them quite well. Number 11 Alabama got the win, and they pulled it out by the skin of their teeth. They won 26 to 20 at Texas A&M, so they improved to 5-1 on the year and 3-0 against the SEC, while the Aggies dropped to 4-2 on the year and 2-1 against the SEC. Then we've got Washington State versus UCLA. This is upset number 3 of 6. Yes, that is correct, 3 of 6. The number 13 Washington State Cougars drop this game to the UCLA Bruins, the unranked UCLA Bruins, 25 to 17 at UCLA. So the Washington State Cougars go to 4-1 on the year and 1-1 against the Pac-12, while the UCLA Bruins go to 4-1 on the year and also 1-1 against the Pac-12. So identical records. So congratulations on the upset for UCLA, and as well as congratulations to Louisville on their upset too. Moving on to the next game, we had the Syracuse Orange going up against the North Carolina Tar Heels, the number 14 North Carolina Tar Heels. They've been playing some very good football this year. Even though they're known for basketball, they've been playing outstanding football and consistent football. And they get the win at home, 40-7. So Syracuse drops to 4-2 on the year and 0-2 at home, or 0-2 against the ACC, while UNC goes to 5-0 on the year and 2-0 against the ACC. So number 14 gets it done at home. Then we've got the number 15 Oregon State Beavers going up against the California Golden Bears at California, where Oregon State takes that game 52-40. It was a wild one. It was a back-and-forth game, but Oregon State pulls it off. So Oregon State goes to 5-1 on the year, while they go to 2-1 against the Pac-12, and California drops to 3-3 on the year and 1-2 against the Pac-12. In this game, it was a close one. I expected this to be more of a blowout, but it wasn't. This is between the Arkansas Razorbacks and the Ole Miss Rebels. So the Ole Miss Rebels were hosting the Arkansas Razorbacks, and number 16 Ole Miss gets the job done by a touchdown. The final score of that game was 27-20. So Arkansas drops to 2-4 on the year and 0-3 versus the SEC, while Ole Miss goes to 5-1 on the year and 2-1 against the SEC. Moving on to the next game, upset number 4 of 6. Georgia Tech played unranked Georgia Tech played number 17 Miami in Miami. And Georgia Tech got the upset at the last second on a 40-yard touchdown pass in the last second of that game to win 23-20, putting their record at 3-3 on the year and 2-1 against the ACC, while Miami drops to 4-1 on the year and 0-1 against the ACC with that loss at home. So congratulations to Georgia Tech for getting the win. And Miami loses that game in a heartbreaking fashion. Moving on to the next game, which is upset number 5 of 6. Where number 23, the LSU Tigers, and the number 21 Missouri Tigers squared off at Missouri. And LSU ran away with this game and got the win, 49-39. They ran away with it in the fourth quarter and ended up getting the upset win. So they moved to 4-2 on the season while going 3-1 against the SEC, while Missouri drops to 5-1 on the season and 1-1 against the SEC. And then the final game of the week, with the 6th upset of the week, we had unranked Wyoming out of the Mountain West Conference going up against the number 24 ranked Fresno State Bulldogs of the Mountain West Conference as well, in Wyoming, where the Cowboys got the upset over the Bulldogs 24-19, pushing where Fresno State drops to 5-1 on the year and going 1-1 against Mountain West Conference teams, while Wyoming, the Cowboys of Wyoming, I should say, go to 5-1 on the year and 2-0 against Mountain West Conference teams. For me, the biggest surprise was how many upsets there were this week. But I think the upset that surprised me the most was the Wyoming one. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Let's get into this. Until next time, have a great rest of your night, and I'll talk to you later.